Obviously, we'll touch on the best Arsenal and City as well with this. But there's a huge question in midfield. I think you guys also have that question at the moment. KDB, Mahrez, and Saka at the moment I've added in here. But this will also touch in with regards to Martinelli, Ben White, and Ketia if you wanted to as well. But yeah, I've added a midfielder table here of the last 6 game weeks, basically since the restart, of the top performing midfielders. Rashford right on top. Obviously, right now, probably the most informed player in the league. Followed by Mahrez. Bruno also has stepped up his game, interestingly. So for those who have Bruno, are you really looking to get rid of Bruno ahead of a Leeds game in favor of maybe 2 fixtures where one is Arsenal? KDB, in there, even though he got benched, I still think he'll play both. Grealish, Solly March, interestingly, even though he's not performing fantasy-wise. Odegaard, Salah still there. And then you have Martinelli above Saka, and then Mitoma just in the top 15. Thoughts?
Saka is lower than I expected.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
And Bruno is right about where I expected.
He's the highest chances created at the moment, Bruno.
Yeah, he looks different to last season. Or even the start of, even just watching the games, he's definitely getting forward a lot more. But obviously nothing like Bruno Fernandes of 2 seasons ago, but he still looks a better asset than last season. So I bought him in for KDB last week, and I'm happy to hold him. I don't think I'm going to go back.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm also probably in the same boat. I am
but
not.
But I also already have Triple C. So.
Okay.
Different. Yeah.
I've got Mahrez already, so because of that, I'm happy with my 2 City attackers that I have right now.
I have Mahrez too. I'm not too happy about it, to be honest. But,
because of the doubt in minutes.
I just think I don't think Mahrez played that well the last game. And I heard some rumor about Pep. I think Pep had a little bit of a verbal spat with him when he came off. I saw it on Twitter, so don't quote me.
Shit,
but, there's like a video of it on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't know.
I saw Mahrez. He almost got a goal there.
Exactly, that's the thing. I was like, no.
Yeah, that was my transfer in as well as Mahrez.
Yeah,
obviously.
I thought Grealish was the best City player in this one.
Grealish is just again from his Aston Villa days. He's just very good on the ball, and he's just a dribbler. And then I just think when it comes to finishing, and he's always the pass before the assist, which is why it's kind of annoying. In saying that, yes, he has been much better to start the break. Yeah, interesting. I could see Ward-Prowse pretty high up there as well.
Always delivered for Rishan before in past times. When in time of need, call Ward-Prowse.
Just in a double game week, I'll get him in no matter what.
Yeah. So between, let's say, okay, let's start with let's say you have, okay, you currently have Bruno, right?
Yeah.
So you're not selling Bruno. I'm also most likely not selling Bruno, but you have Triple City, I have Double City. Rush, you have
Double City.
Double City of Haaland and Mahrez.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you
if
looking
you have Double
for...
City, it's a different equation. If you have Double City and Triple Arsenal, that's when I would consider going Bruno to KDB.
If you have Double City and Triple Arsenal?
Yeah, if you don't have Triple Arsenal, then...
Or if you don't have Triple Arsenal?
Yeah, then priority would be to get a third Arsenal.
Okay, so between triple up on City and triple up on Arsenal, priority would be triple Arsenal. Yeah, because they double in 25 as well.
Yeah,
I think so, and that's not just because I think Arsenal are more in form. I think there's three better clear options from Arsenal.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's probably 4 clear options from Arsenal and 2 clear options from City.
Yeah, and more minutes secure, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
I guess the only question, and I think this is boat I'm in, which I know a lot of people are probably in as well, is Martinelli to Odegaard a necessary transfer?
I think if you have absolutely nothing else to do, I think,
So
word for a -4.
Can you do so? This is where it gets tricky, right? Now, people who have Martinelli, what do you do with Martinelli? That's the question, right? Now, if you can get to Saka, I still think it's the best. If you can do that, I wouldn't consider that a sideways move. I actually think it's probably an upgrade at the moment. because you're getting a better nailed-on Arsenal attacker who is still on penalties. Martinelli with Trossard's introduction could start to see reduced minutes. Obviously, got subbed out in before the 60 as well. I think if you can get to Saka, yes, Odegaard is a slightly different story. Now, Odegaard didn't have a good game, but I still think Odegaard has better minutes security compared to Martinelli at the moment because he's their captain.
I think Saka and Martinelli, Odegaard have the most minute security, like you said. But I still think that Martinelli has pretty decent underlying stats. He hasn't been as on it since before the World Cup, but like I don't think I would do it for -4. I would only do it if I didn't have anything else.
I think I don't think I'll be doing a -4 for get rid of it, but I just think it's an interesting point because as Ryan said, if Martinez's minutes are constantly being threatened by Trossard and the new form attack, there will be a point where you're going to have to start benching Martinelli.
Yes, that's the thing.
And when unless the time comes where you want to get rid of him, there will be a time where you just have to start benching because you just don't know his minutes, especially if he doesn't start anymore. And, Trossard and they start a different formation. So I think for the time being, there's no need to panic, but just something for us to keep an eye out on.
The one thing I would say is if anyone wants to actually take a hit, probably now is the better week to do it because you have the double this week and you also have the double in 25 to kind of like make up that -4 that's lost. And probably you want to go into a position where you have the best possible 3 Arsenal players as well ahead of all of these runs. So that's Martinelli. I'm assuming you don't have the funds to go to Saka, right? Straight away.
Not from Martinelli.
Yeah. Let's talk Ben White.
Wait, can we segue into what do you think is the best 3 Arsenal? Because I think we've accepted that you need 3 Arsenal. What is the best 3 Arsenal?
Okay.
Regardless of position.
Wait, before we get to that, shall we end this conversation part in terms of the midfield? City, if you have double City in Mahrez and Haaland, do you really want to triple up if you had Bruno?
I think KDB is pretty secure for this game, right?
Yeah.
I just think that when United, now that your double game week is finished and they've got a blank coming up in 25, if I have Bruno and I didn't have KDB and I can upgrade Bruno back to KDB, I probably will do it.
Okay.
Only because of the fact that you've got a double this week.
Yep.
And you got a game in 25.
Would you do
as much as Bruno's got the form, you probably got Rashford as a cover anyway for the United shot.
Would you do it for a -4?
The double this week is the only incentive really to kind of push you to that. I don't know. I don't think that if you don't do it this week, I just feel like you just stick with Bruno.
Yeah, fair enough. Until at least 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then probably get to Salah.
Bruno's on penalties.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, fair enough. All right. Curran as well, I guess, sticking. Yeah, unless he gets injured for some reason in the Leeds game, I'll probably stick. And in terms of City attack in midfield priorities, who do you go? KDB first and then Mahrez or Grealish?
I still think KDB first.
Okay. Yep, fair enough.
KDB first, then Mahrez.
And if you don't have City mid, like Will at the moment, he did KDB to Bruno and doesn't have a City mid, I think you go back to KDB this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
In that position.
If you got the funds, yeah.
Cool. So that kind of starts this part of the video, which I can clip up now. Let's move on to the next topic, which is this will tie this in with our best Arsenal as well. So best players for double game week 23 and 25. Now, I've got a table that has all the players who double in 23 and double in 25. I've had to go down quite a bit I've cut out a lot of players who would have been in here, but yeah, you can I've sorted this by expected goal involvement as well. Having said that, now obviously this is mainly attackers, no defenders, but we kind of can touch on defenders as well. Your best triple up for Arsenal, would it be double attack, 1 defense, or triple attack, or?
We'll take turns.
Go ahead.
I think for me it would be Nketiah, Saka, Odegaard.
In that specific order or in any?
Oh, in no particular. Like, okay, if I had to order it, it'd probably be Saka, Nketiah, Odegaard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be going a defender if I can. I just feel like Arsenal defense is still in the top, and I can see their game against City potentially being a draw or like a low scoring game as well. It all depends on how things go on, but I'd probably rate Saka and I'd probably rate a Gabriel and then an Nketiah. I just think the Arsenal defense is still up there, especially for the double in 25 as well.
Yeah, I think most of us probably have Ben White right now. So you probably, to move to an attacker, you'll have to do 2 transfers. If you wanted a sideways, I think for me, Saka would be the highest priority in terms of the best player. Then I would probably go with Odegaard and then probably Gabriel. The thing with Nketiah is I still think he's a good option, and I have Nketiah right now. It's just that there is always that possibility that Gabriel Jesus can come back by the time it gets to even game week 25. So that's like a month away, game week 25, even though it's like 3 game weeks. So that's a possibility as well. I think Saka, Odegaard, and Gabriel probably right now. Having said that, if you had Ben White, would you keep Ben White?
I've got him.
What are you doing with him though?
Start him and hope for the best.
Yeah, that fair enough.
I mean, look, is Tomiyasu is he back 100%? Is that the risk, I guess, with Ben White?
I still think he's their first starting right back, Ben White. And the only thing with Ben White, I feel, is that you have that minutes problem where Tomiyasu does come on most likely, and Ben White doesn't see the full 90. Now, this can play, it's basically a double-edged sword. Now, he could get subbed out before 60, which we've seen once. But he could also get subbed out after 60 with a clean sheet intact, and then Arsenal go in and lose their clean sheet. That's also a possibility. And then you're laughing as a Ben White owner. So that's the only thing. The thing for me is I'm like, the upside in Arsenal defense isn't as high for me to take out Ben White for a hit even. That's kind of what my situation.
Nobody's particularly attacking except for Gabriel.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the Gabriel most likely from set pieces. So you kind of have to hope for that. So unless you want to switch to a third Arsenal attacker by taking out Ben White, I at the moment don't see it worth enough for a transfer. That's kind of where I am at. I'm happy to just play him and see how it goes, I guess. Ride it out.
I actually think there's I don't know how to quantify this, but I think there's a fairly non-small chance that Tomiyasu plays against Brentford. I think Ben White got, like, I only watched the highlights, but and read BBC or whatever, and it seems like Ben White got bullied a little bit by Everton's players, and Brentford are probably the most physical team in the league. I think if there is a game to start Tomiyasu, this is probably the one.
Yeah, which doesn't help.
But yeah, I agree that he's the preferred right back.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough. That's the only issue. So I guess that's a risk. If you're willing to take it, probably can. But I guess the other thing to consider is moving Ben White to Gabriel is not just a 1 week thing which you have to look at. You probably have to see how that impacts your other moves as well, because it's a up in terms of price as well. Ben White to Gabriel.
Yeah.
So that could have an impact on your ability to bring in maybe the likes of a Salah or someone else that you might want.
Well, let's just say I think thanks to Cancelo and Trent for not being relevant anymore, I just feel like it's opened up a little bit more funds.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I think there is an upgrade, but yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. I guess that's plan your transfer, see how you go, and then if you can do it, you don't. It's not a big issue in terms of like moving to a Gabriel, or if you want a third Arsenal attacker, that's an option. Cool. So that's Arsenal. Do we really want to talk about anyone else from 25 now, or not really at the moment?
Not really 25, but I mean, I guess we talked about triple Arsenal as being the priority. If you had double City, double Arsenal, I guess my other question is it worth for a -4, bring in another third City player in, who could be a defender, for example.
I probably I probably won't do it for a -4, just because apart from, let's say, Ake, who could play both like left back and centre back, the amount of uncertainty in that City defense, tied in with the fact that for some reason they still can't keep a clean sheet even with the fixtures being pretty decent. Even though their defensive numbers are good, they still somehow or the other find a way to concede a clean sheet. I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Pep's been playing this formation with. It's like a 3-2.
Yeah,
it's like a 3-2-4.
Yeah, with like Rico Lewis at times in CDM and all that things.
Yeah, and they got absolutely shredded on the wings against Spurs. If they do that again, like Saka will shred them because they're essentially playing without any fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't want to have any defenders in that team.
Yeah, and
but if I did, like, it'd be Ake, and he doesn't have any attacking upside either. So
yes, that's the same case with Ben White.
Yeah,
the attacking upside is not there enough. Now this would be completely different.
He has BPS though. He gets BPS in that also. Ben White.
Yes, Ben White does have because he gets so involved in like the play and everything.
Yeah, he has high pass completion.
Yeah, his pass completion is high. So players who have like that's same thing for Trippier. Trippier, even though he loses a clean sheet, racks up so much BPS because he's so much involved in pass completion and everything is so high.
Trippier has very low pass completion, but very high big chances created. That's why
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So now every single set piece.
Yeah. So now this, I would gladly take a hit for players like Luke Shaw, for maybe Trippier if you didn't have him, or even like a Reece James at times because we know what their attacking capabilities are. But for like Ake, I'm not really sure if I really want.
Agree. Agree.
Yeah. I somehow have Edison.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I didn't, but I do, so I'm gonna keep him.
Yeah, fair enough. So if you have Edison, you don't need to double up on City defense. But if you didn't have a City defender, I don't have a City defender at the moment, and I'm not really looking to get one for the double. Because I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, I'm happy with like White, Shaw, and Trippier as my defense for this week. For 23. Yeah, that's the kind of situation I'm in. But yeah, that's City and Arsenal kind of covered. Anything else to add on that? Or
now we'll talk about Liverpool when it comes to 25.
Yeah, alright. Hopefully their form does increase. At the moment, I don't think there's any need to actually. If you don't have Liverpool players, there's probably no need to go for Liverpool players at the moment.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading.